We're live. It is the
Absolutely.
Fowler Scrum with Pat and Sam enjoying the public holiday in South Africa. So, Pat, you're in first. How are things going with you?
Good. So what I've been working on, I've been working on mostly MetPlus, trying to get tests to pass, and working with Hanesh on some of the issues with his PR. I reviewed a couple of other PRs as well. Yesterday I had a rash of deadlock issues or database timing out because of a locked table from SQLite 3, which I've never seen before, both locally as well as in CI, which is bizarre. And this morning, tests are running fine locally, and I'm currently running some tests in CI right now. So we have a story in place to upgrade to Postgres across the board, dev, test, etc. So I think we're getting to the point where SQLite is just running out of runway for us here.
Where are you using SQLite?
Oh, in dev, in test.
Okay,
Yep.
on Heroku.
We are in production. Heroku is a production environment, even though we call it staging. So that's all Postgres.
Right. Okay. And locally, on people's local machines. When you say dev and test, you mean people's local machines?
Well, CI test is also using SQLite.
Oh, really? So,
Yeah.
When you say CI test, that's
Semaphore? Yep.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah. So we need to get off of that. We're at the point where it's just failing on us.
Yeah.
Totally. About it. Yep. So we're in the process of doing that. Tong Wei's got that story. I worked with her last week. I think she's doing final testing and proof, etc. We had to change our database cleaning strategy, yada, yada. But anyway, I think we have a strategy now to get us there. And that's pretty much it. I paired up with Ashley on the SHF project yesterday for a little bit, talk about security considerations for what we're doing here. And that's it for me. No blockers.
All right, good stuff. Yes, interesting that you mentioned about the database. Well, maybe at the end of the Scrum, I remember going through that process with local support, and we might talk about that at the end of the Scrum. But
sure.
Yes, good show. Yeah. So from my side, the main thing achieved yesterday is we got the SSL is done and working on Agile Ventures production, and that all seems to be good now. The DNS changes are propagated. We have a nice, secure Agile Ventures environment, and that, I mean, it may be not the biggest thing on people's minds, but I think that there's, for people who might be subscribing for payment plans and so on, seeing the HTTPS in the background is probably a good thing, even though of course we don't store anybody's credit card details. It all goes straight over SSL to the Stripe servers or PayPal servers. But anyway, so that's pleasing to get that out. That's one point of my 4 from last week. We had the local support kickoff yesterday, and yes, we haven't really taken on any more stories. The big thing there is sort of cleaning up existing pull requests. I've kind of got a block there, which is that the CI is failing on some tests which appear to be not failing locally for myself and Zmago, but actually, now that I've discovered that, I think that the 500 billion VCR cache files got added to the git ignore folder, and basically I've uncovered, I think, parts of the problem now. So I'm now able to replicate the error locally, and yes, there's just a lot of work to be done there. It just needs to get done to like unblock everything. So yeah, got to focus on that rather than doing any new stuff on local support. We've also got Stella and Sess and Sigu and Mahesh all in there, and Sigu's doing a wonderful job supporting Stella and Sess, and yeah, progress being made there. So that's all very positive. We also had the Agile Book Club podcast, which we recorded. Rose joined us. That was good fun. Found out about a whole different way of these user story mapping tools, which is all news to me. I think there's some exciting possibilities there. Yeah, that's about the size of it. I guess we've moved the marketing meeting as well now to be Mondays and Thursdays, so I haven't got a marketing meeting coming up immediately. And I guess I'm going to throw myself into trying to clear up some of these Website 1 stuff I didn't get to last week, and Redeemify kickoff today at the Kempbeck Scrum. Yeah, that's pretty much me.
What's the book that the Ruby Book Club is going through?
So the Agile, the Ruby Book
Oh,
Club.
the Agile Book Club. Oh,
Yeah, so
sorry.
the Ruby Book Club is going through Abdi Grimm's Confident Ruby, and the Ruby Mob is on Thursdays. Elixir Mob is going through the Udemy course on Elixir and Phoenix, and that's on Wednesdays. And the Agile Book Podcast, Agile Book Club Podcast, ABC Podcast, is currently going through 50 quick tips to improve your user stories by a couple of, it's like one guy with a complicated name and another guy with a very straightforward name from my point of view. So it's by Gojko Adzik and David Evans. So are you in that channel, Pat?
Well, actually, the Ruby Book Club, I did get Confident Ruby. I haven't had a chance to start it yet. So that might, you guys are making your way through that book?
So, well, there's two different things. So
yeah, there's Agile Book Club and then Ruby Book Club, right?
So the Ruby is the mob programming. So it's the
that's mob.
It's the mob programming. Having finished that book, we may just do more mobbing. Whether we'll stick with going through other books, that's going to be the question when we get to the end of that Abdi's book, which is coming out actually. We're kind of 2/3 of the way through it. With the Agile Book Club, we're kind of only, I think, 1/3 of the way through this 50 quick ideas to improve user stories. This was recommended by Ashley. It's definitely interesting stuff. And all of the podcasts are MP3s that have been posted in the channel. We are moving towards like ultimately getting polished versions that are going to go up on a website somewhere. But so what we were working through yesterday was this create a user story map, and this is an interesting idea. Ashley just set one up for Agile Ventures, and it's a different way to organize the stories. So like instead of having like your Kanban board where it's kind of icebox backlog, in progress, done, and so on, you actually organize the columns based upon the user's movement through the system. So you can see here that this is like one here for new users. So like the person, they find Agile Ventures, they look at the list of projects, they want to find a particular one with like React, and so on. And then you've got another thing here, which is like a visitor coming in and considering being a premium member and then sponsor. I'm not sure. There's supposed to be kind of like a sequence across the top of like the sequence through your site that the people are taking, and then you organize the stories in that order rather than in the order of to do, ready, and so on. And then you put the to do and ready and different stuff as colored tags on the on the items, and then you have releases like each row, like here, this corresponds to like a release of the site, and you can kind of see the set of features that are helping your users achieve their flow from left to right here across the. So does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. It's interesting. So you can, when you take a discrete story, you can see the context and how it works in the workflow for the user.
Yes.
Even though you're not working on the first or the next in sequence, but you can see the steps, and that may inform you in how you build that story out.
Absolutely.
So that's a good idea.
Yeah, great idea. It's that sounds very, very powerful. There were maybe some better diagrams I thought I had open, but I've now lost. Is it up here? No. Anyway, yes. But yeah, that particular thing discussed in yesterday's Agile. So yeah, we covered that and this change behaviors using the create funnel of how people, kind of think about doing something and then trying to work out whether they can do it and so on and so forth. So
good. I loved it. I got an invite to a storyboard for SHF that, which is the one you showed me, I guess, for SHF that Ashley had set up yesterday.
I think that the one I got is the one from Ashley that's for Agile Ventures, but I think that she's probably done one for.
She did one for SHF, I believe.
Here's a possibly a simpler example which shows, kind of like this is from the Stories on Board, which I think is the people who make this tool for an arbitrary e-commerce site where it's like find products and then you can like release one. Release two. Anyway, so that's
great.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. Ashley's she's a very systems thinker. She thinks about it forwards and backwards, and so I'm not surprised she's glommed onto this. That's great.
And I think this is a lot. Her background is maybe more this working out these user flows through the site and so on. Which I mean, I'm that HCI stuff. I mean, that's kind of like, for me, that's the key thing. That's I love that. It was the first time I've seen. I mean, there's a book on it. There's an O'Reilly book on user story mapping, and I've encountered all sorts of stuff about like drawing out your user story and the flow through the site, and I'm always thinking in those terms. What I haven't, this process of organizing your kind of work tasks around that is news to me. I had not encountered that previously.
Well, it occurs to me that if we did attract some actual product owners to Agile Venture Site, this is a vehicle by which they may be able to intersect with the development team better, rather than this typical storyboard. This might speak more to a product manager, because that's how they would think.
Maybe, yeah. Indeed.
So interesting.
But yeah, so we might there'll be, for the Agile Book Club. For example, we might move on to this book next. We will see.
Here's a story mapping.
Yeah, what was I going to say there? But yeah, so that's our kind of Scrum. I was just going to connect up with that. It's interesting you mentioned about the need to move to the Postgres on Met Plus. I remember going through that phase. We did that, I think, fairly early in the local support. We initially had lots of developers who had just come out of the MOOC and were developing with the SQLite locally. And there was often a question in my mind, like, oh, when we sort of put it off, and then we did it. And actually now, we're both in Website One and local support. It's all been Postgre for a couple of years. And
good.
Yes, I mean, the particular thing though about you saying dev and test, like I would, yeah, that's a funny thing. We've got, for both local support and for Agile Ventures, we have production, staging, and development are 3 servers that are all on Heroku and so on. And then there's like the local development. But part of our discussion with Chet the other week is that you're going to have a production and a staging for Met Plus, right?
Yep. We do have a staging right now.
Oh, you do have a staging. You have one Heroku instance, but you only have one Heroku instance, right?
We actually have 2, Pets Dev and Pets Master.
Okay.
But I think Hugh's been making some work on the production environment. I'm not sure if I think he's going to stay on Heroku.
Yeah, sure.
I think the problem with the integration of Dree with GitHub and pushing
they haven't
branches, all that stuff.
They have not moved their product forward to the point where we can use it effectively at the moment. They're still doing some. They kind of like pivoted slightly. They want to publish it on the Amazon Web Marketplace. They've built their dashboard internally. So
we decided to move away from them, at least for the time being, unless they fix that stuff.
Very highly sensible.
Yep.
But so there's a dev, there's a Pets Master. So that's currently kind of like your dev server and your staging server, and Joao is in the
Pets Dev is actually we call staging. They're all set up as Rails production environments.
Right.
Pets Dev is kind of a staging, and Pets Master was the production, and then for a short period of time we moved over to Dree as the production. Now we're coming back to Heroku.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Yes. But by virtue, anything that's running on Heroku must be running in production mode. But so for me, when I'm saying staging, it doesn't mean not production mode. It just means it's the server. But so your Pets Dev is your staging environment.
Exactly.
And JP's now in the process of creating a production environment also on Heroku. That's going to be the one that Chet can start using real data in.
And production versions of services that we're using.
Yeah.
Like Pusher, all that stuff.
Sure.
Mailgun, the typical stuff.
Great stuff. All right.
Yeah. So it's coming together.
Excellent. Well, good luck with that the transfer over to Postgre. That often can then become getting the documentation right so that it becomes then another hurdle. I think most of the people who get stuck on our installation for AV and local support, it's 9 times out of 10 it's the Postgre. But
so the Agile Book Club, when does that? There's a channel.
That's Mondays. That's Mondays at at the moment it's 4:30 p.m. UTC, and it's flagged in the Agile Book Club channel. But yeah, so we try and record the podcast, and
Okay, great, cool.
Right, anything else that we need to sort out?
Oh, the NHS Wiki project. What's happening?
We had an email from them saying that yes, they're still thinking about it. What was it they actually specifically said? Gosh, what did he say? He said, yes. Sorry, you have not yet heard the outcome. We need more time to consider. We will let you know as soon as possible.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna respond to this. I got some more from this Myanmar charity. I'm going to respond to them now, and yeah, I've reorganized my to-do list slightly by creating categories of which things that might lead to payment, supporting premiums, and then everything else. So that's
a good way to prioritize.
Keep me focused on things that might actually bring in revenue.
Yep.
Yes.
Makes perfect sense. All right, good. Thanks for the update.
Nice one. Good to catch up with you, Pat. I'll catch you a bit later.
All right, take care. Bye now.